What would you do if you ended up in a match against two premier rough and tumble wrestlers of today? On the November 10th, 2021 edition of AEW Dynamite, Dax Harwood and PAC squared off in a singles match. Would you have been able to defeat them? Today, we look at how to beat Dax Harwood versus PAC. First off, I'd just like to say the title of the YouTube video on AEW's YouTube channel is "The Battle Lines Have Been Drawn and Full Gear Can't Get Here Soon." Does this mean Full Gear is being postponed? Was this match so brutal or something they decided to postpone the whole pay-per-view? Anywho, even though these two wrestlers are very experienced with both PAC and Dax debuting in 2004, there are some mistakes made you could learn from if you want to get into the pro wrestling or sport entertainment industries. PAC ascends the ropes with a down Dax in perfect position for PAC to hit his black arrow. Once in position, Dax gets up and swipes PAC's leg off the top rope, resulting in every man's worst nightmare. Dax ascends himself up to the top rope before executing an avalanche back suplex to the balls-swelling PAC. Okay, we start with PAC and his slow reaction time. Now, I've never been a wrestler or sports entertainer in the ring, but I can imagine that after 17 years of it, one's head gets knocked around a bit. As we see here with PAC on the top rope, his eyes are raised after he gets in position. He's looking down at Dax, who before this last cut was flat on his back. However, for a whole 4 seconds, PAC is looking right at Dax. During those 4 seconds, PAC didn't react accordingly. There's a reason why going to the top rope is called high risk, and PAC was reminded as to why. If you want to be a high flyer, perhaps the one thing you should work on the most is being aware and escapes from the high risk position. As we saw here, a simple swipe from Dax caused some terrible pain to the little PACs. There's a reason the low blow is illegal in wrestling, and for Dax to find a legal way to cause similar pain is a great maneuver. In fact, PAC is in so much pain, Dax decides to go for a high-risk maneuver of his own. However, this is very dangerous, as PAC could have easily thrown an elbow at Dax and could have went down. The little PACs must not have been hurt too bad, lucky for PAC, because he stood right up to receive the avalanche back suplex. I don't know about you, but I've received a nut shot before, and my legs collapsed like the Roman Empire. Perhaps PAC has balls of steel or has trained for low blow type pain.
Thank you, guys.
After the big back suplex, both men are understandably in pain. Referee Aubrey Edwards gets to a 5 count before both men are back on their feet. PAC reverses a clothesline into a German suplex before Dax is able to get a huge clothesline onto PAC. Dax goes right into the Liger Bomb for a 2 count. Okay. There was a lot of good moves on both guys here. PAC corrects my thought that maybe his reactions are slow as he snaps into a German suplex reversal. However, as Dax gets up, PAC tries a maneuver that is putting great pressure on his back. As anyone who has had any OSHA training knows, you need to lift with your legs. Dax's 223 pounds is a bit of a risk to try to deadlift in a wrestling match. PAC is a hoss, no doubt, but for the longevity of your career, I wouldn't be trying these deadlifts during a match. Dax's huge lariat was stellar. I probably would have went for the pin here, but PAC was so quick to bounce back up from it. Dax used that momentum to bounce PAC up off the top rope for a powerbomb pinning combination. Dax placed his legs on PAC's arms, which is smart because every little thing you can do in a wrestling match to help you win isn't a bad thing, since in AEW, wins and losses matter. Side note, I ain't a wrestling historian, but from what I can tell, this sit-down powerbomb, often with a pinning combination, was popularized by Jushin Thunder Liger, where it gets his name. And extremely shocked Dax can't figure out where PAC has summoned the strength to kick out. Was he even reaching to the heavens for help here? Dax throws some strikes, gets reversed into a backslide for a 2 count, and PAC flips over him and locks him in the brutalizer for the victory. Okay. Almost every wrestler is guilty of this. The look of shock after a kick out. It's so crazy to me that after decades and decades, wrestlers and sports entertainers still haven't disciplined or trained themselves to be on autopilot. Dax Harwood here is clearly not stunned or very hurt. However, he seemed to be in shock that PAC survived his Liger bomb. It was about 27 seconds after the kickout until Dax enviously grabbed PAC's hair to deliver some European uppercuts. For the most part, does it seem like striking opponents in wrestling even works? Multiple times at a show, you will see two competitors just strike each other, and it doesn't ever seem to do much. Just look at what happens here. Dax hits PAC with what looks like a couple devastating uppercuts. After those two hits, PAC just catches Dax's arm like the first two hits never happened. But it seems like it only assisted PAC in getting the backslide maneuvered. Dax kicks out, but PAC's agility proves to be worthy of his former kingship as he gets the brutalizer in for the victory. This match was extremely important for FTR. They have a tag team title shot at AEW Full Gear, and it's almost always better to have a victory over a loss heading into a pay-per-view. Let's see how FTR recovers from this loss at Full Gear. Of course, the drama of a wrestling match doesn't end after a victory, especially in AEW. Cash Wheeler and Tully Blanchard attack PAC before the lights go out. When they come back on, Andrade and Malachi Black are standing in the ring and they're all attacking PAC. The Lucha Brothers and Cody Rhodes then come off to fight the bad guys. Okay. If I were ever in pro wrestling or sports entertainment, I definitely want Cash Wheeler in my corner. He clearly was paying attention to this match, as it only took him 10 seconds to save his FTR partner after the bell. For about 30 seconds, he and Tully Blanchard beat up PAC before the lights went out. About 14 seconds later, the lights came on. And it still took another 20 seconds before help came out for PAC. So it took about a minute and 14 seconds before help arrived for PAC. I might add that I felt PAC's help was a little strange. How was it that Cody and the Lucha Brothers came out at the same time from completely different parts of the arena? Sports entertainment has its incredible timing sometimes. What did you think? What did you think about this match? Did this How to Beat video of Dax Harwood versus PAC help you learn something for your future sports entertainment or wrestling career? Who do you think will win the AEW Tag Titles match at Full Gear? Let us know in the comments below what else you would have done differently to ensure your victory. And remember, until next time, lace up your boots one at a time and think about your next maneuver.